Yes, sir.
Great game, hard-fought game. Give Virginia Tech a lot of credit because they played hard. We had our chances. We didn't play well the first half in really any phase. We didn't have the ball very much. When we did, we didn't move it. Defensively, they made yards on first down, which we couldn't let them do. We knew that coming in. That was our game plan, and then they overcame two 3rd and 15s and a 3rd and 14, which you just can't do any of that. But really, really proud of the guys. The coaches made some adjustments at halftime, and the players kept fighting, and they had a chance to win until 37 seconds left. So this team's not giving up. Obviously, the shine's off, and the rating sure doesn't matter tonight. We were overrated with the way we played. Most people had a scrimmage this weekend, and we had a very difficult team on the road in a tough environment. And it showed us some concerns that we've got that we've got to go back and fix. So now we should know more about who our backs are. We should know who the receivers are that can step up and play. That's been a concern. And then we've got to figure out why we did not play well the first half on defense as well. Questions?
Okay, Bridget Condon, go ahead.
Coach, you talked about those expectations, and you kept telling us all summer that none of that matters unless you can come out on the field and show that you're that team. What is your message to your team after this one so that they're not, overly high or overly low when this is just week one?
Yeah, Bridget, the biggest thing I told them in the locker room that I was proud of their effort, especially the second half. A lot of young guys quit, and they just lay down when they get in trouble. And we had every right after that first half. Nothing went well. We had every right to lay down and just say, hey, it's not working tonight, give it up. And I was so proud of those guys. They fought till there were 37 seconds left. And I was calling timeouts at the end, just hoping they might fumble because those guys want to win so badly. So I'm proud of them. It's on us as coaches to do a better job. We should know more about who our go-to guys at receiver are. We should know more about our running backs now than we did before the game. I've been a guy that said preseason ratings are not worth anything but getting you in trouble really forever. I don't like them. I wish the ratings wouldn't come out until the college football playoff ratings in October, but that doesn't matter. It happens. And so that's all out of the way. Like I said, our shine's off, and we can be a really good football team. We did some things the second half that are really, really positive, but we've got to go back to work on Sunday and look at why we didn't do well in certain areas, look at what we did well the second half and build on that. But we can't let this one beat us twice.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, 6 sacks tonight, would have been a 7th. That last one was Sam when he threw the pick. Was it just a matter of your guys getting beaten up front, or were there some other things that they were doing that were giving you guys issues?
Andrew, you saw what I saw. It looked like we got beat. And now I've got to go back and I'll, as soon as I leave you, I'll have all the video on an iPad and I'll start looking at it immediately. But it was really, really disappointing that we didn't run the ball better the first half. And I did think the sacks were a surprise and disappointing. And that's something that we've got to really look at. We've been talking about that for 2 years. And then in an opening ball game, I thought we would be really good up front. And I'm not sure. We did run the ball better in the second half. I liked what I saw from Ty Chandler and DJ Jones. So there's some positive there, but we had some negative run yards and we obviously had the sacks, which you can't have.
Thank you.
Over to Alyssa Ray.
Yeah, Coach, uncharacteristic of Sam to throw 3 interceptions. What does that say about this Tech defense? I mean, they were putting pressure on all night and just seemed to be much improved from a year ago.
Yeah, that Tech's got good players. I said that last week. Nobody wanted to listen, but they've got good players. They played hard. They were well coached. They played hard the whole game. So you got to give them a lot of credit. And you got to remember that's a team that beat Virginia badly the last game of the year. So they've got good players.
Okay, CL Brown, go ahead.
Mac, you talked about the shine being off now, but how do you convince them that they can still get the shine back? Like what's kind of the process of making sure, as you said earlier, that this doesn't beat them twice?
CL, the biggest thing you've got to do is you can't pout. You can't pout if you didn't play enough. You can't pout if you didn't play well. We got to go back to work, and we got to fix all the things that we messed up tonight. And that's coaches and players. And that's one thing I've learned. I've always pouted and wouldn't speak to anybody until Tuesday after a loss, and that's just stupid and immature on my part. I got to grow up, and I've got to go back to work for these guys, and I got to work really, really hard the next 2 days to find out what I can do to help them better on Sunday. And I got to get with our coaches too and see why some of the things that we thought were good going in didn't work. So this will be it'll be an uncomfortable couple of days for all of us. But when something's not working as it didn't tonight, gotta be real honest with each other. Kids, say facts. These are facts. We gotta get things fixed. And Jeremiah Gimmel addressed the team afterwards and said, we can still win out, and we can. We just got to go back to work. But we can't sit around and pout and point fingers and talk about all the negative things that are going to happen.
Okay, let's go over to Lucas Tomei.
Coach, obviously Josh Downs had a great performance tonight. What did you think about the play of the other wide receivers behind him?
I don't know for sure, Lucas. I did think that Emory Simmons made a couple of really good plays. You know, we had a chance to hit Garrett Walston down the boundary, and we overthrew it because in fact, I think we hit there were two high throws to him, and we wanted to target the tight end more tonight. But I do think right now it looked like Antoine Green caught one ball, and I really don't remember anybody else stepping up and making a huge difference. So I would think the two guys right now that played well would be Emory and Josh, and then we got to continue to look to find somebody else.
Okay, Mark Berman.
Mac, you lost some awfully good running backs and receivers. How much were you privately concerned that replacing them in game one against the Tech defense would be a tall order?
Mark, I was really concerned. Number one, because it's an unknown, and those guys were really, really good. They weren't as good the first year as they were last year, and we're kind of back to the unknowns of the first year, like we were 2 years ago, because Diami and Daz and Javante and Michael came so far over the 2-year period. So these guys just have to come faster. But when you play a really good team in an opener on the road with that environment, you're going to find out every concern you've got. And those were exposed tonight, and we've got to go back and address them.
Gregory Hall.
Mac, two separate occasions, you got needed your defense to make big plays, and Conley came up with that fumble recovery and that interception. What did you see out of him? And what do you think was the difference as far as first half to second half, specifically around that interception that the defense really stepped up?
Jaquarius Conley is going to be a really, really good football player. He's tough. He's big. He can run. He'll hit you. And he's a tremendous athlete. So he can strip a ball. He can intercept balls. And he's really competitive. And I thought he played so well tonight. And I did think they came out with a lot of different motions and shifts and got us on our heels in the first half. And Jay settled everybody down in the second half. And we just played much better, much more sound. We didn't let them run the ball as much on first down. We had a couple of sacks that we forced on them. And give Burmaster credit. He played really, really well. We allowed him to run a couple of times, and the things that have shown up with our road losses last year with Florida State and Virginia showed up again tonight in that first half, and we did much better with them in the second half.
Okay, two more quick ones here, guys. Luke DeCock, go ahead.
Mac, you mentioned the pressure, obviously, and the high throws to Garrett. How would you, though, assess Sam overall, sort of, obviously without looking at the film, but generally speaking, his performance?
Luke, I would think when you don't run the ball well and you have 6 sacks and he had to run for his life, some others, that the thing I would say about Sam's, we've got to do a better job protecting him. We've got to run the ball more consistently, and we cannot have 6 sacks and him run for yards. He's the one that turned the game around when they were trying to sack him, and he just ran and made plays on his own, and he's such a competitor. But you can't expect a guy to go out there and have a great game throwing the ball when you got people around you all the time. You got to protect your quarterback.
Okay, last one, Adam Smith, go ahead.
Mac, when you fell behind in the first half and things weren't going well, what were you sensing from your guys? Was there maybe panic that you sensed? You know, you're in here, it's a tough environment. Like what were you seeing and what were you feeling from them?
Adam, I felt a little bit of disappointment and surprise. I mean, I told them it was going to be hard. There was going to be a big surge. These guys were going to be pumped. They're tired of reading about how great you are and how well we're doing in recruiting. And so it turned out just exactly like I thought the first half would, except we didn't respond as well. And then we settled them down at halftime. And I told them after the game, you didn't quit. You kept competing. And if you'll do that, we'll be okay. We'll be okay, because most teams lay down and quit when they have a night as tough as we had tonight. And there weren't many positive things that happened in that first half, for sure. In the second half, we had positives. Every time we'd have a positive, we'd have a negative. And they just kept fighting and kept fighting. And then when they missed the field goal, I thought we'd sure win. I thought it'd be another overtime game. So I was already thinking about what our 2-point plays were going to be, because we were up here 2 years ago. But this was just a night where the guys fought. They fought their guts out. I'm really proud of their effort. We just couldn't get it done.
Thanks, Coach, for a couple of minutes tonight. Safe travels back.
Thanks. You all travel safe.